Hey everybody, and welcome to the Castle of Spirits, True Ghost Stories. I'm Vince, that's Jane. Say
Hello.
hi, Jane.
Hi, Jane.
Together with the Ghost Keepers,
That's right.
the current stewards of the Castle of Spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Stewards, not stewards.
Wow.
Just
Look what I can do.
good job.
Okay.
If you're new here,
Hi.
we just want to let you know Castle of Spirits has been collecting first-hand accounts of the paranormal since the year 1997. I'm sure there's quite a few people out there who may not have been born in 1997. I mean, in this world, there are not very many people. There are a lot of people who weren't born. Anyway, hey, we were doing that before Reddit, before social media.
Yeah.
Basically before the dawn of the internet.
Mm-hmm. Well,
our archive of true ghost stories, Jane, did you know,
I
now
did.
contains almost 5,000 true stories submitted by people from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And most weeks we reach into that archive and share some of the stories for you. But tonight,
Tonight's different?
we're doing something different.
Oh.
11 years ago, we made a YouTube video. This one of me. We created an account called 13th Mirror. And the plan back then was that we were going to tell creepy stories and things like that. One of the videos that we made was examining the leading theories surrounding the Lizzie Borden murders. And did you know that it became one of the most highly viewed videos
I did
in the
know
history of our posting videos?
that. Well, of yours.
It's got something like 20,000 views or something crazy
I
like
want to
that.
say, I watched it again today. I want to say it had like 55,000.
I don't think so.
It was a lot.
But that told me one thing. It told me that people are still fascinated by this case. And this month being the month of August is 134
22,000.
years.
It was
yes.
92.
1892.
That's right.
134 years since the infamous Lizzie Borden axe murders. And
The Borden family axe
the Borden
murders,
family axe
not
murders.
the Lizzie Borden axe murders.
True. So tonight we're reopening the case. We're doing something different, like I told you. We're going to look at leading theories, the other possible suspects, and the strange pieces of evidence that have kept people arguing for more than 130 years. 134 to be exact. Like I
Okay.
just did the math a minute ago, so I wanted to share that. I remember the math. And we want you
Yes.
to
You.
reach your own verdict along with us. Did Lizzie Borden do it? Or has history been blaming the wrong person? But first, the backstory, because there could be some people who don't know the backstory of the Lizzie Borden case.
Weird.
On the morning of August 4th, 1892, Andrew Borden and his wife, Abby, were murdered in their home in Fall River, Massachusetts. Lizzie Borden, 32 years old, Andrew's daughter from a previous marriage, was arrested and tried for the killings. Although a jury found her not guilty, spoiler alert, she is today considered one of the most notorious accused murderers in American history. And because this is the Castle of Spirits, before the night is over, we're also going to talk about some of the alleged hauntings inside the Borden house itself.
Heck yes.
But that's not what we're doing tonight. I mean, I just told you that's what we're
He
going to do.
said that's what we were doing. Did
Anyway.
he not?
You did. You did. I did.
Okay.
But Jane, before we get into any of that stuff, alternative theories, I want to ask you, what is your gut feeling about Lizzie Borden? Did you always assume that she did it?
I mean,
Ever since the nursery rhyme, not nursery rhyme, but the rhyme, Lizzie Borden took an axe, you know.
yeah. Well, I think the general consensus has always been that she did it. I remember being surprised at one point in my life when I found out that, no, she was acquitted of...
Yep.
Okay, this cat is so annoying. She was actually acquitted of the crimes. So I'm actually going to reserve my opinion for the very end.
All right. Then in that case, you're forcing my hand. I'm going to go right into the theories.
Oh, you're not going to give us your opinion? Like
Well,
what you think?
before beginning the theories,
I think we should do them at the end.
before we contaminate your opinions with facts,
Before we contaminate your opinions with our opinions, he means.
With our
facts. Don't contaminate. Facts are facts.
All right. All I know is that I'm kind of excited to do this because I've always been a big fan of the Lizzie Borden story.
Yeah.
In 1975, there was a TV movie. What was it called? What was the movie called from
Wasn't it
1975?
just called Lizzie Borden?
No. What was it called?
I don't know. The one with Elizabeth Montgomery.
Elizabeth Montgomery, Mona from Full House. Was it
Oh,
Full
that's
House?
right.
No, it wasn't Full House.
Who's the
It
boss?
was, Who's the Boss?
Mm-hmm.
Catherine, I forget her name. Catherine Hellmond.
Yes, that's right.
She was so beautiful. I had a big crush on her when I was a little kid.
She was gorgeous.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
She was like in her 50s on TV, and I was like a little 10-year-old kid who was in love with her.
Anyway,
that movie scared the hell out of me. I remember having night terrors as a result of that movie.
Yeah, it was good.
And, we could call my mom and ask her about if she remembers the night that she had to calm me down from watching that. And I was really embarrassed. Not embarrassed, but I was afraid for them to find out that I had had these horrible dreams because, they let me stay up and watch the movie. And I wanted to stay up and watch other movies in the future. So I had to I kind of had to downplay it. I didn't say, oh, that movie gave me nightmares.
You had to be tough.
I had night terrors as a result. So I don't know. And now, of course, there's a brand new Ryan Murphy produced monster. Last season it was Ed Gein. This season it's going to be Lizzie Borden. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that troubles me about that is the fact that, like I said, she was acquitted.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked last week briefly about the whole big hullabaloo going on right now with Castle Spirit. What's it called? Spirit Halloween.
Yeah.
Wow. Apparently selling like Lizzie Borden merchandise and,
featuring Andrew Borden's skull,
which was shared in a court of law as evidence, and they've got a facsimile of it, and it's just kind of in bad taste. Like it even has her.
The tombstone.
Her headstone with like an axe in it or something. Anyway, I mean, it's all fun and games, I guess, until somebody gets axe murdered. But
that's usually where the fun stops.
Yeah. Anyway,
depending on what end of the axe you're on, I guess.
Did you guys know that there are many different theories about what happened that night? And we're going to talk about that right now.
Let's do it.
The case has never been resolved and has given rise to numerous theories about the events that occurred that day. These are 5 of the leading theories surrounding the Lizzie Borden murders.
Resolved, though. I mean, she was acquitted, so technically that's resolved.
Yeah, no, I mean, OJ was acquitted too.
Fair point.
Theory number 1. Can I have a drum roll, please?
No.
Oh, that's for... never mind. We should do this number 5. Anyway, 5-1. The wild-eyed man.
This one is really interesting to me. So, yeah, go ahead and tell it.
Okay, so during the initial investigation, Lizzie told police that she had seen a strange man lurking around the house on the morning of the murders. Kind of what you might expect the murderer to say. Like, yeah, there's a really strange-looking guy hanging around out here.
He went that away.
He went that away. Let me get rid of the evidence. But this was further corroborated by eyewitnesses who said they described him as a wild-eyed, red-faced man hanging around in the vicinity of the house on the day the killings took place. In one case, 2 witnesses described a strange man walking down the street with unusual haste. That means that he was moving quickly.
They know.
And carrying a cleaver in his hand. How guilty can you look? This sighting took place roughly 1.5 miles from the Borden house.
Well, that doesn't seem very close. It's like the smiley face killer thing. They're like, wherever a body is found that's by the smiley face killer, there's a smiley face spray painted somewhere around. See, this body was found here in the water, and there was a smiley face painted 2 miles that away.
Yeah, exactly.
We're reaching.
Yeah, there's a bit of reaching here.
But
yeah.
Oh, is that all you had to, okay.
Because
I have questions about this.
Yet another witness claimed to have seen a man covered in blood sitting by the side of the road on the day of the killings, approximately 15 miles away from the scene of the crime.
Exactly.
Like 15 miles away.
Yeah.
Despite these and other sightings of mysterious strangers, because there's always a stranger around, Lizzie Borden was the only person ever arrested for the murders.
Yeah, arrested, yes. She was not the only person ever accused directly, but yes, arrested.
Yes. And what was your question that you had?
So I have a few. Is one of your theories that there was a man who came to the house demanding money or something from Andrew Borden?
That is one of the theories.
Okay, because I've heard those two theories hand in hand, that was the wild-eyed man. But also, the wild-eyed man theory reminded me a lot of the Villisca Axe murders.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So-
what year did that take place?
Well, that was 1912. So that's the problem. It was 20 years before. So I don't think it has anything to do with the Villisca Axe murders. If you have never heard of the Villisca Axe murders, it's insane.
We can tell you about that sometime.
Maybe someday, yeah. But it's so much bigger. If you have never read the book, The Man from the Train, it's just a who's who, page after page after page of these horrific murders in that era that they believe were all connected, and Villisca is just one of them. So then I did have to stop and look it up. Okay, what year was Lizzie Borden again? What year was Villisca, to see if that was an overlapping, but it's
I've
not.
actually heard the theory. This is not any one of the 5 theories that we're talking about right now. The theory that Lizzie Borden was Jack the Ripper.
Oh, shut up.
Because the Jack the Ripper killings were 1888. Jackie the Ripper. I guess back then it would be the Ripperette. But today, you know.
Boy.
But that I guess she honed her craft, you know, by traveling.
In Whitechapel.
Yeah, in Whitechapel.
Nobody knew
in
she
the 80s.
went. Where did she get the money? Who knows? Andrew certainly didn't give it to her.
Right. No, Andrew, though, he was worth like about, I think, 6 or 7 million in today's money.
Yeah, but it
they
was
didn't
only
even
about
have-
500,000. It wasn't even $500,000 back then. Yeah.
But in today's money, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, $500,000 in 1892 could buy you a bunch of what, horses
Could have bought him a nicer house, but
with running water. But they
And-
didn't have that.
they didn't even have kerosene or gas lighting, let alone electric lighting. They used
Yeah.
kerosene lanterns. And then because Andrew was such a miser, they said that he was such a miser that when it got dark, they sat in the house in the dark to save kerosene.
Let's save kerosene, Dad.
Anyway, okay.
Well, you mentioned somebody coming around the house.
Mm-hmm.
That actually ties in with one of the other theories. Theory number 2, that it was William Borden was the killer.
Yeah.
William Borden was Lizzie's alleged half-brother.
Yeah. Illegitimate half-brother.
Right.
Which is even more scandalous. Yeah, it
Especially
was
back then, yeah.
him who supposedly came to the house, had an altercation with Andrew, and then was supposed to be the
Right.
wild-eyed man. Yeah.
Theorists posit that William, supposedly his 26-year-old illegitimate son, may have killed the Bordens after failing to extort money from his father.
Yeah.
According to this theory, Lizzie helped William cover up the crime.
Yeah, I've heard it the other way too.
It is said that following the murders, William spent time in an insane asylum.
Yep.
An eyewitness to his erratic behavior in his final years claimed that he would often threaten people by brandishing
Yeah.
what? A hatchet?
A hatchet. Very similar
The
to
exact
the one.
same type of weapon. In 1901, William Borden committed suicide by hanging.
Yeah.
You know, why would Lizzie help him cover up the crime?
Yeah.
Maybe just to say, oh, okay, oh yeah, I'll send you the money as soon as we you know,
Right.
we get this cleared
You get
up.
rid of Daddy and I'll wire you some money.
I'll wire you $50. That's the equivalent of a lot of money back then. You know, one of the crazy things is that the Lizzie Borden, the home where this took place, still stands in Fall River, Massachusetts. We've always wanted to go.
Yep.
One day
If
we'll
we
do
get
it.
1,000 likes on this video before the end of the month, we'll go there and do a live episode. I'm just like farming actually right now.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. What if it works and then we have to do it? How are we going to afford to go? Anyway.
Shucky darn.
Anyway, that house is now a bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
Seems like a very dark thing. You can stay in the bedroom where Abby Borden was murdered. Mm-hmm. I think it's called the Morse room. You can stay in any bedroom of the house. Yeah. There's a bunch of bedrooms. I looked at it today just to get an idea. The going rate is still about $350 a night.
That's not horrible.
It's not, especially considering
you would have the run of the entire house.
It's the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast,
right?
And they have overnight, like in the middle of the night, tours of the house, seances, and all that kind of stuff. So they really lean into it. Mm-hmm. But I bet you anything, there's evidence in this world and maybe in this castle that may not be the creepiest bed and breakfast.
That's actually true. I know you said we weren't going to read stories tonight, but I actually did find.
I don't think I said that we weren't going to read stories.
I don't know. I did find a couple of stories about haunted bed and breakfasts.
Bed and yes. No, if there's more than one, it's bed and breakfast-y.
Oh, okay. Like cacti. Okay,
cacti,
I got it.
Bed and breakfast-y.
All right. So let's see.
So you found some on the Castle of Spirits?
I did in the archive.
There's no stories, guys, on the Castle of Spirits archive about people staying at the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast.
No.
Unfortunately. If you've ever stayed at the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast, though, we want you to submit your story. I mean, I guess, if something creepy happened.
Yeah, if you've ever been there. No, even if nothing creepy happened, just, tell us about it. Did you get vibes? Did you just feel creepy? We just want to hear about it. If you've ever stayed at the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast, give us a little ring-a-ling and tell us. In the meantime, I'm going to read you a story.
Please do.
Called A Bed and Breakfast, surprisingly.
Great title.
And it was submitted by Brittany in Virginia, USA, October of 2016. Let me restart.
Do over.
Let me start by giving a short backstory explaining why I was in said place and why I was with who I was with. I won't mention names and the place that we stayed at to protect their privacy. The place where everything occurred doesn't really like to have their paranormal phenomenon brought to light so as not to affect their business. To be honest, I always thought this was really funny because they hold ghost tours in the house. But I digress. Just real quick. First of all, if you know about famous haunted bed and breakfasts, you will immediately know what place this is. And also, aren't they all like that? Like the Winchester Mystery House, they don't want to answer questions about the ghosts. But then they do ghost tours too. So
yeah, I find that kind of like riding the fence, kind of like non-committal type behavior. But we'll take what we can get, I suppose, right?
All right. I'm a paranormal fanatic and have done work in the modeling field from time to time. I was asked by 2 friends to go stay in a bed and breakfast and model in some of the period clothing to help promote their website, as well as keep for our personal portfolios. One of the 2 friends is a photographer, and the other is a pretty well-respected paranormal expert who has investigated this place multiple times with groups. After getting the story of the house, I decided I would go, and after we finished our work, we would try to catch some EVP recordings and try to reach out to the spirits. Something that I have never done, but have always wanted to try. The owner of the house let us have the entire house to ourselves, since she knows my friends so well, and trusted that we wouldn't burn the place down. There were also no visitors that night, so us 3 had the entire house to ourselves. A brief history of the house. Built in the 17 to 1800s and was the home of a slave owner. It was kept in as good shape as possible, given it's a historical building. Renovated to have faux fireplaces in each room and very authentic period relics, clothing, and beds kept inside. All throughout the day, I noticed a few things that caught my eye. Small things, like a picture frame moving before my eyes, and a chandelier shaking while there was no one moving it. I just chalked it up to the house being old. After we finished our work, we decided to sit in the living area to rest and have a beer or two. Then, a strange feeling of nausea hit me. It was very odd because it didn't start happening until we sat in the living area. I noticed that there was a faint cigar smell and asked my paranormal friend if she noticed it. She then told me that the room we were in was believed to be the sitting room back when the owners were still alive, and they would have their cigars and drinks in that room. She also stated that during some of the ghost tours, people have also mentioned this. I decided that we should leave the room and go sit outside. The nausea wore off within a minute. I wasn't bothered by any of this because, hey, I knew what I was getting into. After a beer or two, we decided to hook up the EVP recorder and explore the house. We visited every room, including a room where Jeb Stewart was known to have stayed in at some point. We asked all of the basic questions that you could think to ask a spirit. The last room we went in was the room that Jeb stayed. I noticed that the fireplace was on. Funny thing is, none of us had been in that room until that point when we all went together. Again, I ignored it and went about my business. My friend mentioned that female visitors during the paranormal investigations have complained about a feeling that they are being groped. Of course, sorry, I lost my spot. Okay. Of course, with the EVP recording device glued to my hand and head, I tried talking. Nothing. We went on for about 30 minutes and gave up. Maybe I was too eager. I mean, I was really begging for any trace of afterlife. Anything would have sufficed for me. Still nothing. At this point, it's probably around 10 p.m. We settled down and decided to bunk up in the same king-sized bed. Less cleaning for the owner the next day since we were staying for free. After a bit more chit-chat, we all passed out with the TV on. That's when things got weird. I woke up, I guess, between 2 to 4 a.m. The TV had automatically cut itself off because it was on a timer, so I had been asleep for a little while. We kept one of the lamps on in case we needed to get up and use the restroom so you could clearly see throughout the room. When I awoke, I was covered in sweat. It felt like I had been dreaming a bad dream and suddenly woke up and couldn't move a muscle. I stared blankly at the ceiling until I started to hear a tapping noise come from across the room near the fireplace. A very faint tapping noise that sounded a lot like fingernails tapping on a window. It started out slow and started to move towards me. At this point, I'm freaking out. Mostly because I was paralyzed in the bed and had just woken up. The closer it got, the louder and faster it got. When suddenly it felt as if the noise was right next to my ear. Then, nothing. At some point during the noise, I closed my eyes. I opened them and looked directly at the ceiling. a small black shadow moved very swiftly from one end of the bed to the other. Eyes closed again. Nothing to report after that, except for the fact that as time went on, it got more and more unbearably hot. But I was terrified to even move, much less take the covers off. I wanted to wake up one of my friends, but I felt like I couldn't even speak. I think after about 2 hours, I finally saw what looked like the night turning into dawn, and I fell into what felt like one of the deepest sleeps. I didn't hear my friends when they woke up, and finally, around 10 the next morning, I woke up. I felt like I hadn't slept at all. My body was so tired, but I forced myself out of bed to get some coffee. My friend, who is the paranormal expert, looked at me and asked how I slept. Awful, I said to her. I asked if either of them had woken in the night at all, and neither of them did, not even for a bathroom break. She looked at me and said, I know. I went upstairs when I got up this morning to pack up all of my EVP equipment. While I was packing, I heard a very faint voice say, "We came to visit her last night." Now, let me just say, normally I would call BS on this story really fast. But how could she have known I had any kind of visitor during the night when she hadn't woken up to see my whole episode? How could she have known that before I even had a chance to tell them the story of what happened to me? After we left, I felt a huge relief. I was so tired I fell asleep during the long ride home and was hesitant for a while to even talk about it. Maybe it's because this was my first real paranormal experience. I have no idea. All I know is whatever happened that night and whoever tried to contact me scared me for a good while. It doesn't seem so scary now, but during the experience, I've never been so terrified. I've been invited to go on another paranormal trip to an old sanatorium. I'm hesitant. Thank you again to Brittany in Virginia, USA for submitting Bed and Breakfast in October 2016.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be into that kind of an experience,
I would.
to be honest with you.
I would. Let's have it.
But in a bed and breakfast, I mean, those places are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
If you wake up in the morning and you can't even eat because you didn't sleep last night and you want to get the hell out of there, you're kind of missing out on the experience.
Well,
do they offer discounts, do you think, if people...
No, if you get a ghost haunting you, then you got exactly the experience you paid for. If you go to a haunted bed and breakfast and you don't get a haunting, did you waste your money? My answer is yes.
I don't know. I mean, it reminds me, and the whole experience kind of reminds me of our experience at the Stanley Hotel. It was haunted by living people.
And us.
I kind of felt like, we paid a lot of money for a terrible night's sleep with people trying to get into the
Oh yeah,
room
the
217.
creepy guy who was trying to get into our room in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Posing as hotel personnel to try and get into our room.
And, I swear, sometimes I wonder how many of those people were actually living and how many of them were not. But that's for another time. If you want to hear that story.
Yeah, we talked about
it in our first episode called Meet the Ghost Keepers.
Yeah.
So we talk about, and also guys, sorry if there was a little bit of cacophony going on a few minutes ago. Our animals are, we don't have a professional studio. We just do this in our living room. Mm-hmm. And we have the Freya, the hellhound. Oh God, don't say her name. She'll wake up.
But
she finally
Mr. Moon will
down.
not be silenced.
Mr. Moon he silenced himself. I guess he tired himself out.
Yeah.
But, those are
them's the breaks.
Those are the breaks. Oh, hi. Say.
I was wondering if you could give us another Lizzie Borden theory.
Yes, I can. We're here discussing the top Lizzie Borden Well, I'm going to say Lizzie Borden murder theories. Alternate theories alternative to
The facts.
what they say happened in a court of law. This theory is that it was Lizzie with Bridget Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
And Bridget Sullivan was the maid that lived at the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is speculation that Lizzie may have had an affair with Bridget Sullivan, who was the family's live-in maid.
Mm-hmm.
The theory goes that they were caught in the act by Abby Borden, and that Lizzie killed her stepmother in a fit of rage after Abby threatened to tell her father, Mr. Borden. I can totally see that happening.
No, can I just tell you that I hate this theory?
Yeah, how come?
I think it's a garbage theory.
Maybe we don't give Abby Borden enough credit. Maybe that she would have said, "Oh, like
No.
I've always known," or something like that, and you're cool.
And I'm not saying that Lizzie and Emma didn't have something going on.
Yeah. And that is something that's played into
Emma was her
Bridget,
sister.
Bridget. But that this theory is played into in the Kristen Stewart movie version called Lizzie.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen Monster yet, so.
But I it's not that I don't believe that she and Bridget had a relationship, because later in life Lizzie was known to entertain like Hollywood stars, and there was a musician, a singer that she befriended who spent the night at the house
and
quite
Lizzie
often.
was never married either. So.
And she was known for having relationships with women. So
Right.
it's not that I don't believe that part. Here's what I find to be unbelievable.
Okay.
Stepmom walks in, shock and pearl clutching, and just, ooh, you wait until I tell your father. And then proceeds to go make the bed in the guest room. And then Lizzie,
it's not like she,
who's like, oh my gosh, has like all this time to let her go about her duties, and then creep up behind her and murder her with an axe. Like, if it's an explosive
fit of rage,
right, a fit of rage doesn't come like, a while down the day while stepmom's gone, oh, tisk tisk, well, the bed's not gonna make itself.
Wasn't there like an hour and a half between?
About an hour and a half
Abby Borden was
between
killed
Abigail and Andrew.
Andrew
Yes.
getting killed because he was at work.
Yes.
So I mean, maybe she was just waiting for him to come home, but
which is weird because
I don't like that.
He got home around 11 o'clock in the morning.
I thought it was 12:30. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure how much I believe it. It's not like, it seems a little bit demonizing, if you know what I mean, like demonizing somebody with an alternative lifestyle.
And it was scandalous for the day, and drew headlines and got people intrigued, and just like the whole thing about, well, how did she do it? She didn't have any blood on her. Well, she just took off her clothes and killed them in the nude. I'm like, I don't buy that one either.
Sexy.
See, exactly. It's salacious.
It's salacious, and it's a sexy story. There's no two ways about it.
Right.
But did you know that years later, on her deathbed, Bridget, the live-in maid, reportedly confessed to lying in court to protect Lizzie?
I actually don't think I knew that.
Deathbed confession. But the thing, if she says, yeah, I lied in court to protect her, what did you lie about? She just dies before she's able to tell you. What did you lie about? Did you lie about the murders? No, I lied about the fact that, that it was 11 o'clock in the morning when I saw her and it was 11:30. Whatever. We don't know that. We don't have that information. But we do have another theory.
Okay, let's have it.
The other theory, just as salacious, that Bridget Sullivan acted on her own.
Mm-hmm.
She was an Irish immigrant, Bridget.
Mm-hmm.
She was poorly treated by Mr. and Mrs. Borden and may have been driven to homicide out of anger at being overworked.
Mm-hmm.
On the day of the killings, Bridget was made to clean all of the windows in the house. Yeah, saying
top to bottom,
I don't do
inside
windows.
and out.
She had to do windows.
And It was 100 degrees outside, and
August, yes.
they wore those heavy, heavy
Oh, yeah.
wool clothes.
And
Like,
they're sending her out there to do that.
I can't even imagine. Like, it must have been so hot in that house anyway, but going outside in those huge wool dresses to do that. Like, I can't believe she didn't die.
And being overworked like that and doing that in the heat, does that really lend itself to somebody having the ability to bludgeon two people to death?
Well,
And I mean, that's also another thing too, is that she was working there. She was an Irish immigrant. She needed her job.
mm-hmm.
If she kills the people, she's probably going to get fired, so she's going to be out of a job.
Well,
and she's going to have to go
and then there's
back
more.
to Ireland.
It wasn't just that they were mean to her or, overworked her. Like, they basically dehumanized her. They insisted on calling her Maggie. They called her
Yeah.
Maggie. And that wasn't just like a cute nickname, like, how do you get Maggie from Bridget? Maggie was the name of their previous maid.
Oh my
and
God.
they didn't bother
Oh.
learning Bridget's name and
Yeah.
instead continued to call her Maggie.
Oh,
Yeah. But I don't think that,
I don't know.
I don't think Bridget did it.
You're starting to get the idea that maybe, I don't know, if it's as much as somebody can ask for it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Though she was the first one who was like seriously accused.
Bridget was.
Bridget was, yeah. But then
And she's like, no. she did it.
Lizzie was like, no. She like, totally stuck up for her, and they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll arrest you then, Lizzie.
Well, that kind of reminds me of one of the OJ theories that I heard. And this is off topic, but it's still a murder thing. One of the theories was that OJ didn't do it, that his friend Al Cowlings did it, or even more so that that OJ's own son did it, and that who else in the world but his best friend and his son would OJ take the heat for? You know what I mean? Instead of like saying, I didn't do it, these guys did it.
He seemed like a bit of a narcissist. I don't see OJ taking the heat for
A narcissist
anybody.
with cuts on his finger the day after,
Yep.
from a knife the day after his wife is
But
murdered.
this is
probably-
not about the OJ trial.
This is not about the OJ trial.
So,
This is about Lizzie Borden.
have we another theory? Oh, wait. I mean, did you weigh in on that at all?
The theory that Bridget did it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that anybody in their right mind would allow themselves to be put on trial if they know somebody else did the murder.
That's not true. It happens all the time.
Well, I don't know. You're the true crime person. Where has that happened before?
Making a murderer?
Oh,
That poor kid? Come on. He flat out confessed to the murder.
yeah, but that was
Flat out confessed.
Yeah, but that was
so
a
that
coerced
he could,
confession,
Absolutely.
right? So
Absolutely. But you don't think that people get coerced into confessions and then they just stick with them to the end? Like,
this may be an unpopular opinion, but the making a murderer thing, I don't know that I necessarily buy the story of their innocence.
I don't think I want to talk to you anymore because
Well, it's just like the staircase.
that kid, Brendan, no. Anyway, no, let's not go off onto other. Let's
All right,
stick with the
let's
Bordens.
stick with the Bordens. It's
Anyway,
1892.
we should probably be doing a true crime podcast.
Well, and let us know if you like these
Yeah.
diversions.
I think that
and-
these old, like, historic, mysterious murder cases fit in with paranormal, especially since there's usually, like, ghost stories after the fact.
and
But
there are.
so let us know if you guys are cool with, a little bit of true crime here and there. I promise we're not going to do like the OJ trial or anything, but
Oh, man.
like these older mysterious true crime stories, if that's something that you're interested in hearing more about, because I
do
tell you
do
I could talk for days.
do
on
I get a
it.
vote?
You don't get a vote.
Oh,
Anyway,
well, why not? I mean, I could vote for myself, right?
next theory.
All right. This is the fourth theory.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is the fourth theory. No, I've done all four.
There's 5, dear. 5.
Oh, yeah. The theory number 5
Mm-hmm.
is, drum roll, please.
No.
Should we read another story before? The fifth and final theory. Do you have another story of some sort of a crazy haunted bed and breakfast, as the Lizzie Borden house?
Yes, but I
is
really
now a
want
bed
to
and
talk about
breakfast.
like our own theories, so I don't want to go on for too long.
Okay, well, we don't have to read another story. If you
Well,
want.
let me see how long this story is.
Oh, she's going to time the story now. Everybody, get your stopwatches out. She's
We have one vote for the side adventure episodes. Thank
right,
you very
cool.
much, Heather.
Yeah. If you're listening in podcast land,
This one's not that long, actually.
broadcast this on YouTube over the weekend. So come and check us out live, warts and all.
As long as it doesn't take on an Unsolved Mysteries vibe. I see you. All right. This story is called The Man in the Uniform, and it was submitted by Alexis in Auckland, New Zealand in May of 2006. This experience occurred about 2 years ago. My boyfriend and I were having a 2-week holiday around our country, New Zealand. We ended up staying at a quaint little B&B style accommodation near Tangario. I tried to practice that earlier. I know I just still said it wrong. Anyway, National Park. We were in bed on our second night there, and I was asleep. I suddenly woke up, and I felt the bed being shaken. I looked to my left, and there was a man in an old 1800s style army uniform. He was kicking the bed, and although no words were coming out, he seemed to be saying, "Wake up." I was frightened, so I reached for my boyfriend, but saw that he was choking. His eyes were closed, his brow was sweaty, and he appeared to be asleep, but he was struggling for breath and pale. I figured that he was having a nightmare, so I frantically shook him awake. He came out of it gasping for breath, and after I grabbed him a glass of water and waited for him to calm down, I asked what happened. He told me that he was having a nightmare that a man was strangling him to death. I said that was weird, and then told him about the man who had woken me up. I figured that it was a dream, even though I wasn't entirely convinced. Then my boyfriend gave me the fright of my life when he gasped and said that the man who was strangling him in his dream also had an old-style army uniform on. My boyfriend wanted to compare the physical attributes of the man in the uniform, but I was too scared to talk about it anymore. Needless to say, we were scared to death and left in the evening. Thank you to Alexis in Auckland, New Zealand for submitting The Man in the Uniform, May of 2006.
And that just shows to go you that bed and breakfast
They're creepy. We should stay at more.
bed and breakfast
Yeah.
are haunted friggin' places.
Yeah.
And can you imagine how haunted the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast must be? I mean,
I would love to find out.
we do have a couple of theories about that.
Okay.
I'll tell you my theory on Lizzie Borden, eh?
He's a genius, eh? He knows Lizzie Borden. Okay, give us...
All right, we're getting back to the last...
Theory 5.
The fifth and... Guys, have I done 5? Have I done all 5?
No,
'Cause
you're doing the last one
I
now.
moved them out of order a little bit.
Come on.
Okay, the theory number 5, an alternate theory to Lizzie Borden's guilt. Aliens.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm kidding. Lizzie Borden and Emma did the crime together. Emma.
This is my least favorite.
Emma's the sister, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Lizzie Borden and her sister Emma. The relationship between Lizzie, Emma, and Mr. and Mrs. Borden was volatile, or volatile, if you're like me. About 1 month before the murders, a verbal altercation reportedly resulted in Emma leaving the house to stay with relatives. Lizzie remained behind. A few days before the murders, Lizzie attempted to buy poison from a local pharmacist, but was refused. The night before they were bludgeoned to death, Andrew and Abby became violently sick, an illness that may have been diagnosed by the family doctor as food poisoning.
Right. Which I think it was. I do believe. was food poisoning. They were eating venison stew for like,
Yeah.
they had been eating it for like a week.
And it had gone bad.
Yeah. And refrigeration was not really all that back then.
And I mean, sometimes your number comes up. It's like, the venison, like death. Death is like, the venison didn't do it. All right, send Lizzie in to do
Where's a
her thing.
hatchet?
Yeah, give me a hatchet. The salmon mousse. We should have given him the salmon mousse, but he was too cheap to buy it.
I didn't eat the mousse. Anyway, go ahead.
Abby Borden allegedly told the doctor that she had received an anonymous note warning that the family was being poisoned. But no such.
Who said that?
Abby, the murder victim. But no such note was ever found. So,
well, where did that information come from?
It's right here. It's right here in my notes.
Like, who said Abby said that? Because, I mean, at this point, Abby's dead, so she's not going to be like, but we also got a note.
She told her doctor. So, like, when she went to the doctor, and was like, probably when the doctor came to their house to check him out for being, sick and stuff, she's like, somebody sent me a note. I don't know. That makes sense. Another version of the theory proposes that Andrew had sexually abused Lizzie and Emma as children, and the killings were an act of revenge, delayed revenge.
I don't not buy that one, but there's not really any real evidence. The closest thing I heard to evidence was that Lizzie gave her father a high school ring. And that was proof of an incestuous relationship. And I was like, that's a stretch. I have my father's high school ring. Like,
yeah. Yeah, that was depicted, I believe, in the Elizabeth Montgomery movie, which was called The Legend of Lizzie Borden.
That's right.
Guys, if you haven't seen that movie,
it's terrifying.
Before the Ryan Murphy monster Lizzie thing comes out, and before you watch any other movies, go check that out. I think it's on YouTube for free. If not, it's probably on Tubi.
Yeah,
it'll scare the hell out of you.
Well, I don't know if it'll scare the hell out of you.
I mean, if you're a 10-year-old boy,
it was good.
In 1979, really it'll scare you.
All right, can we dig into the weeds yet? Because this is what I'm really excited for.
Yes, I want to get into the other. I mean, and of course there is the sixth and final that Lizzie did it. She may have had reasons. Violence is not always the best solution to something like this. She gambled. If she did that, she gambled with her life.
Yeah,
and she almost lost it to a prison. But back she lived also in a time when I think people would say, well, she's just a woman. She couldn't have done that.
Well, yeah, there were a lot of people who actually said that.
Yeah, she was acquitted by a
jury of men.
Of men.
Yeah. But so one of the other theories that I heard was that, Andrew was quite the miser, like we've already said. They lived in this
not a crime
small house, says the miser. They lived in this small house, and it was quite small. It was a pretty small house.
If you look at it on Google Earth, it looks like a very small place.
Yeah, but they were wealthy enough that they could have afforded a large manor and to live with the rest of what was termed at that time like polite society,
proper society.
And Lizzie and Emma wanted that. They wanted that lifestyle. They felt like they deserved it. And like I said, they didn't have indoor plumbing. They didn't even have gas lighting, let alone electric lighting. They used kerosene lanterns.
And Lizzie was the younger of the two, and she was 32 when this was going on. So she's thinking, maybe she's thinking by then, like, God, how long is this guy going to live?
Right. So that's been one of the theories too. But I want to talk about the logistics about like the actual murders.
Okay.
So here's my problem with anybody doing it. there's no mention of like bloody footprints or like a rogue bloody handprint somewhere else in the house, or there's none of that.
She might have been careful.
Okay,
I mean,
whoever it was, dude, you chop two people in the head with an axe.
Yeah, but she chopped them
repeatedly. There's a lot of blood, and you would think that at least a little bit of that would be tracked through the
and
house.
maybe it was tracked. They didn't have like forensics.
But that's
like,
the next thing.
Came in like, oh, I think I see blood over there.
No, they botched it. Members of the public were coming in. The cops didn't follow any protocols. Like those photos you see, those were taken like 4 or 5 hours after the police first arrived. So, like, it was just botched from the beginning. But you still never hear about footprints, fingerprints, handprints, smears, splatters anywhere else, which I find really hard to believe don't exist. Now, the whole thing about, well, she killed them in the nude. Okay, let's discuss the logistics of that.
Which is a genius move, by the way.
No, it's not.
You're thinking, I don't want to get any blood on my clothes.
They don't have indoor plumbing.
Oh,
How
she can take a shower.
How did she thoroughly clean herself, clean up the mess, and not only like clean her body, but her hair? Like, women didn't go around with their hair just like down and like whatever, and throw it in a top knot. Or women didn't do that back then. And so how would she have like washed, dried, and reset her hair before the police got there?
I don't think though that we have any kind of like a description of what she looked like when
no, but if she had looked
up.
outside of the norm, that would have been noted.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And so the whole thing about her being in the nude, if you were doing the old chop in the nude, your skin is not absorbent. All that stuff is just going to run down you, and you're going to leave bloody footprints everywhere. But if you're wearing those big, heavy garments, lots of layers, the blood is going to absorb into it.
Well,
right?
She was seen burning a dress or something.
2 days later, yes.
2 whole days.
2 days later, which they didn't find before that.
Right.
And the whole thing about her buying poison.
Trying to buy poison.
I don't remember what it was she was trying to buy, but what she said was that she wanted to clean a sealskin cape. She was trying to clean a cape with whatever it was. And then, they said that she burned the dress because it had paint on it. But they had been painting something recently, and it's not like they had garbage cans that she could just be like, oh, well, this old dress, we'll just put it in the garbage can, and the guy will come get it. They probably burned a lot of things back then when they served no more purpose. So I don't find that out of the ordinary. Do I think it was dumb of her to be like, oh, I need to burn this dress? Wait, maybe I shouldn't, because, people were just murdered and that might look suspicious. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. So I don't buy that.
Well, one of the things that I don't buy is that no aliens. One of the things I don't buy is that some stranger came in and did it, because she was there and Bridget was there. And there would have been some sort of somebody would have seen something.
The way Abigail was positioned, if you've not seen the photos, you should look them up. I mean, the one of Andrew is pretty grim if you get zoomed in on it. Yeah. But the one of Abigail, she's making the bed. She's between the bed and the dresser. She's facing a wall, but she's like face down on the floor. Yeah. I imagine that was a creaky house, because it was kind of an old house when they lived in it. If a stranger had come in there, she would have turned her head, or seen him come in.
Right.
Right. Either way, she would know somebody just walked in that room. She wouldn't have been facing the way she did, So I don't buy the stranger theory. Lizzie was there. Apparently she was in the barn eating pears.
Which is a little bit difficult to believe because you can imagine how hot a barn might be in 100-degree weather.
Oh yeah, that's true too. But that's the other thing that they say was one of the reasons that she did it. She kept pigeons. Lizzie kept pigeons.
Oh, yeah.
And Andrew got pissed off at her one day and went into the barn and killed all of her pigeons. So anyway, that's just another thing. So I don't buy the stranger theory. I think if Andrew had had an altercation with someone, Lizzie or Bridget would have said that they heard that, but also Abigail was killed first.
Yeah.
Andrew an hour and a half later, so that doesn't really hold water. But then there is the problem of the hatchet.
Yes. What about it?
Well, the hatchet was found in what they call a dry sink in the basement. And I don't know what a dry sink is, but
Probably a sink where there's no running water.
Yeah, but I don't really understand what a dry sink is. But anyway, if you know what a dry sink is, write in, let us know. So there was like a pan full of ash from the fireplace, and that's where they find the hatchet head. The handle had been broken off. They say recently, but really, how good were forensics in the late 1800s? So I don't know how they know it was recent and that there were no traces of blood on it. Again, I don't know how they know that, but the wood on that axe handle it's clean at the break. I just feel like if somebody used an axe for that, it would have been very, very bloody, and they would have had to scrub it for a long time and then break the handle and then just randomly bury it in this ash pile. So it gets touted as the murder weapon, but they were never positive that it was the murder weapon. They said it was like the weapon that made the injuries. So technically the murder weapon has never been found.
Yeah. I think that her acquittal and the mystery surrounding it was kind of like the end result of just a perfect storm of the times they lived in, the limitations of science, the limitations of the mind of people being able to conceive that maybe a woman did this and maybe we should really question her. I don't know. It just seemed that in polite society, it was something that it was just rather, it almost seems like let's just leave this unsolved.
Right.
Because otherwise it'll make us
best left unsolved.
It's going to really ruin resale value if everybody says, well, that she did it and she lived here and she got away with it, or we're not going to let her get away with it. We're going to send her to prison. Come live in our town now, because there's people running around with axes.
So Meta in chat says a dry sink is usually in a summer kitchen in a basement. There's no running water, but there is drainage. So I guess they would go up to it and pour water in,
right.
But so how do you effectively quickly bathe in something like that?
Unless you were planning on it and you got a bunch of buckets filled with water and brought them there and said, I'm going to do something heinous tomorrow, and which would indicate premeditation. But I don't think that I don't know that there's much difference between premeditation and then just flying off the handle.
Whoa!
And
bumped.
I can see somebody flying off the handle and murdering Abby Borden, but then waiting almost 2 hours to kill Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely somebody who's not wrapped up in the heat of the moment or something.
Yeah.
I always have a problem with people being let off because they were in the throes of passion or something. Not that kind of passion, but in the heat of the moment. Dude, I've been in the heat of the moment a lot of times. The last thing I ever did was reach for a knife. And if I had, I should probably be locked up for it.
I wanna mention one thing before I go to, the next thing. So the picture, this is neither here nor there, but it does make you think about the situation a little bit differently. The picture of Andrew Borden, they say that he was napping on the couch. I don't believe that's what it looks like. If you look at him, his feet are on the floor, his hands are in his lap, and he is sideways.
Yeah. Lean
Like-
this way so they can see you.
Yeah, like, that's not how a person naps. What it looks like to me was he was sitting on the couch, probably having a conversation with someone, and that's how he slumped over.
Yeah.
Which, says that the whole naked sneaking in while daddy was napping and chopping him in the face.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like he was having a or it looks to me.
Yeah, he looks like
he was having a conversation.
He was sitting
with
upright and then he fell over after he was
had
hit.
been sitting upright and got knocked over. But what I wanted to say was, I guess during the trial, there was no real evidence that pointed to her being the one, but there was no other explanation that was plausible until the defense brought in what do they call him? The wild-eyed man.
The wild-eyed man theory.
Yeah. Once that was brought in and presented to the jury, it kind of it
Planted
gave them
the seed of reasonable doubt.
Reasonable doubt, exactly. Yep. And that's why she was acquitted. She wasn't acquitted because they believed she was innocent. She was acquitted because there was reasonable doubt. And I think that everybody assumed that she did it, but they couldn't prove it.
Yeah.
And are you ready to talk about our opinions on what we think happened?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to go first?
No, go ahead. You were leading into it, so go for it.
I mean, Occam's razor says that somehow Lizzie did it. And I do believe that Bridget was involved in some way, whether she was a lookout, whether she knew that it was happening, or I don't know. But I don't believe that could have happened in that house with those two women there. And nobody knows. Oh, that's mysterious. Someone's killed father, which was what Lizzie said, apparently.
Yes.
But how she did it, I have no idea. Because I know it sounds like I was rooting for, how does she do it? How does she reset her hair and perfectly wash and everything?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how anybody does it and walks out of that house head to toe in blood, because you would be. And that guy 15 miles away, you're not getting 15 miles away covered in blood. That's just not going to happen. Yeah. And so I do believe that Lizzie did it with Bridget's knowledge at least. But I have no idea how or why exactly.
I was going to say that I can envision a scenario where maybe Lizzie Borden was being abused by her father, whether he was just rough, being rough with her or doing something worse.
Yeah, verbally
and
or
then
physically
she defended
or
herself or something and went crazy and hit him in the head a bunch of times. And then Bridget would be like, "Oh my God, just kind of turning a blind eye to it as much as you can with a murder."
Yeah.
But for the fact that he was the second victim. The first victim was taken by surprise. She was taken by surprise. She
had to have been.
She was doing
She was done in the back of the head, and one injury was directly between her shoulder blades.
And she was not.
That was probably the first one.
She was not in the primary bedroom where she and Andrew slept. She was in some other room called the Morse room.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was called that.
It was a guest
then.
room.
It was a guest room
at that time.
And so she was fluffing pillows or something, and somebody came up behind her and hit her. So that, I mean, that's like a surprise attack, and then she's dead. We better kill father too now.
Well, I think that was probably always the plan. But, and then it's just a perfect storm because then the police come in with the Benny Hill music and, and just completely like botched the job. And then I think it was complicated even more in the trial where they're like, wild-eyed man. Oh, it was the illegitimate brother. Oh, it was this theory. Like there were so many theories thrown around
If it doesn't
that
fit,
how could the
you must
jury
acquit.
say anything except
Yeah.
we don't know.
Yeah. And really, would you have you yourself?
I would have acquitted her, even though I
Would
do
you have-
believe it probably was her.
Because, ultimately at the end of the day, it's not, is she innocent, but is she guilty? Is it, no, she's not. I can't find her absolutely guilty.
Right.
So better to let her go free than to imprison an innocent person.
And by all
If
accounts,
there's any doubts.
she was a productive member of society. Well, productive. I mean, she was a normal member of society after that. She went and she bought her manor house, and
Didn't she leave like all of her money
all
to
of her money to cats or something.
to like the Humane Society or
So,
the
I don't
modern
think they-
equivalent back
yeah,
then
yeah.
of the Humane Society? And that does lead us to this. She died in 1927 at the age of 66.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, having never confessed to the crimes. Emma, her sister, followed her to the grave 9 days later at the age of 76.
Yeah.
So they lived, especially for back then.
And they were
long
estranged
lives.
at that point.
Yeah, and why
It's-
were they estranged?
I
Maybe
I
at the-
kind of
at
feel
the-
like it's because Emma believed that Lizzie was guilty.
I don't want
damn
to
cat.
ruin the movie for anybody, but The Legend of Lizzie Borden ends with a scene like that where she asks her, "I'm just going to ask you once, and you never have to. I'll never ask it again. Did you do it?" And it's a really creepy ending of the story.
But
Yeah,
then, postscript,
yeah,
when Lizzie died, she was buried in the family plot
yep.
with a simple tombstone that just says, Lizzie. She was buried next to her father.
She was.
Anyway, you didn't tell us your opinion. Do you think she did it or not?
Oh yeah. You want my honest opinion?
Yep.
Sometimes I feel she did it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel that sometimes, I'm not saying he asked for it or anything like that, because nobody really asks for anything that severe.
Right.
But I think that maybe if they had had a better relationship, if he had put in the work, if it was a different time,
Yeah.
if she was, having an affair with Bridget, that was something that would be like, earth shattering back then. But if they had lived in different times today, he might have just said, "Oh, you disappointed me," and she'd be like, "Oh, screw you, old man."
We'll have to blur that out.
Or maybe, especially today, he might have said, "You know what? It's okay. You have my blessing."
Oh.
That sort of thing. That's what
Utopic-
we
utopic
wish.
idea.
That's what we hope.
So you do believe that she did it?
I think she did it. I think that Occam's hatchet, as you said,
Occam's
hatchet has it
razor.
that she was the person with the opportunity and the motive to do it.
Yeah.
Whatever he may or have done to her, may
Mm-hmm.
not have done to her, whether he was guilty of something or innocent of something.
Yeah.
I don't think that really anybody deserves to have that visited upon them, really, no matter what they do. In not in proper society or polite society, but in modern society.
I'm not going to be so
I'm just saying
gracious.
in modern society, when it comes right down to it, I think that the vast majority of people in this world,
yes.
of people in this world would not be able to do something like that, or
Absolutely.
even watch something that, or root for something like that.
Yeah.
And it's anomalous when somebody does something like that. That's why it was such a big story.
Right. Hey, real quick, in chat, Heather asked who called the cops and how long after the murders did the cops show up. So I don't know who called them. Everything I've heard just says somebody called for the police. And from what I understand, the cops showed up about 45 minutes after Lizzie, quote, discovered her father. father was discovered first, and
Oh yeah, that's right. They didn't discover Abby
until after the police were out. They had already been there for like at least a little bit, at least a few minutes.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we should go check the rest of the house. Oh, look, here's another corpse.
How many people live here anyway? We've got another body upstairs. But
Let's see if we can find a third.
well, if you believe the legend of Lizzie Borden, I strongly recommend you watch that movie.
I'm really looking forward to the monster series as well.
Yeah, I hope that they
Ryan Murphy's pretty fair in,
Yeah, if the Ed Gein story was any indication, it's going to be something that's probably going to be hard to watch.
Except, just real quick, let me just pick a bone with Ryan Murphy, because I know he watches our podcast. He doesn't.
Hey, what's up, Ryan?
He doesn't. But I really hate the way he portrayed Madame Delphine LaLaurie in Coven. That was awful. Turned her into
American
a sympathetic character. Not cool. Not okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was wasn't it Kathy Bates playing the part?
It was, and she was wonderful because it's Kathy Bates. But anyway, we're not talking about LaLaurie right now. But we should.
No.
We should talk
But
about
alas,
that.
we cannot leave the Borden case without discussing the house itself.
Hauntings.
The house is still standing on 2nd Street in Fall River, Massachusetts. Operates as a museum and an inn and a bed and breakfast. You can stay in rooms where the Bordens lived.
And died.
And
the couch apparently is still there.
Oh God.
The couch.
And people probably pose for it. I think it's really
That's
morbid.
grotesque. Yeah.
It's promoted as one of America's most haunted houses, but why? What is haunted about it? I mean, a murder happened, but it's not quite like the stories that you shared. The reports that I found say there's like footsteps in the empty hallways, voices coming from unoccupied rooms, cold spots, doors opening or closing, objects moving, shadowy figures, feeling of being watched, that sort of thing.
Pretty standard.
The Morse room where Abby was killed they claim that it has an oppressive atmosphere, unexplained noises.
Does it have an oppressive atmosphere to those who don't know what happened in there,
right?
or only to those who know?
Because
if I walked in a room where the murder happened, I'd be like, "Yo, this room feels like shit."
Exactly. And can you imagine staying the night out there? The winds are kicking up outside now.
Yeah.
We're getting a storm tonight.
We're going to get a nice big storm tonight. I'm so excited.
But can you imagine sleeping in that room where she was murdered and staring? I would just lay there at the edge of the bed staring at the spot where they found her and just like saying, oh my God, 130 odd years ago, this was happening right in this space.
Yeah, but 130 odd years ago, lots of things happened in lots of spaces, and lots of things have happened since then. That was one thing that happened in that spot. I'm sure that there were a lot of other things that happened in that exact spot before and after. I don't know.
Well, basically, this is just like residual haunting stuff.
Yeah.
There's not any kind of like conscious spirits trying to communicate. And, traumatic events leave impressions on locations.
Yeah.
They really do. I've had the experience of going to a place when we were on a ghost hunt and suddenly not being able to be there.
Yeah.
And I had to leave. I've never experienced that in my life. There's like
went running blindly down this pitch black hallway.
Animal instinct took me over and I said, I got to get the hell out of here right now. With no reason why. And then later found out that there was apparently a body found there.
A murder victim.
Yeah,
body.
a murder.
Yeah.
So, that kind of thing. There is one little side story that we should share. Have you heard the story, Jane, of the Eliza Borden tragedy?
Eliza Borden?
Eliza was married to Lizzie's great uncle. And in 1848, this is 50 years.
Yeah.
Almost. She reportedly drowned two of her children in a basement cistern.
Ooh.
Then she took her own life.
That's some postpartum stuff right there, friends.
Yeah, she was somebody who was suffering from postpartum depression. Yeah. But the real creepy part about that was that this murder took place next door to that house.
Shut up.
50 years earlier.
Oh, I just got chills.
Ooh. That leads to the question:
I did not know that.
Is there some? I believe in like nexus points, and like I think they talk about ley lines and things like that.
Yeah.
But there's places in the earth where there's like thinnies, as Stephen King described them, right? Thinnies in the Gunslinger series, where the veil is thinner, and where things just happen. Weird stuff happens.
There's
bad stuff happens. And, it could have been that area. I mean, I hate to say the whole thing about Native American curses and things like that, but if there were ever a people who deserved to be cursed,
Massachusetts,
it would be the people who came and slaughtered Native Americans and took their land. They deserve the curse. But
let me also say there's also such a thing as genetics, and mental illness can run in families.
You are correct there, sir.
So, yeah. I just think that we will never know exactly what happened.
No, never.
But, yeah. It's fun to...
Well, take us out of here, Jeeves.
Are you... he's just done. He says, turn the show off.
As we wrap up the show, and then now I'm supposed to... I hear music.
Not yet. Well, now you can.
Which I actually don't. But, yeah, that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to talk about.
But we want to know your thoughts and
what do you say?
Theories about Lizzie Borden. Like, just... send us an email, cosghostkeepers@gmail.com or castleofspirits.com/
Just go to castleofspirits.com. There's many ways to get in touch with us.
Contact us.
Share your own stories. But again,
let us know what your theories are on the Lizzie Borden case.
And if it's a good theory, we'll read it on the next episode of the show.
Even if it's a bad theory, we might.
Yeah. Especially if you have a good alien theory that the aliens did it.
No alien theories.
No alien theories. Okay.
Aliens didn't do it this time.
We would like to thank everybody for tuning in and watching us on YouTube, listening in podcast land. If you listen this long, you are a real trooper and you deserve a badge of some sort.
You are. Yeah. You deserve the Castle of Spirits badge of honor. We don't have one, but we're making one, so we'll let you know when it's out.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us. I enjoyed seeing you, and you, Jane.
Oh, well, you better have enjoyed seeing me.
Thanks for hanging out with us as we talked about. We geeked out over a topic that we're not really, super. I was going to say intelligent about, super educated on, but we really enjoy talking about it.
I'm pretty knowledgeable on it.
Well, she is. She's very knowledgeable. I relied on notes, and she did it all with her brain. So, if you like this podcast, please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to reach 1 million likes by the end of the year.
Yeah. Get us up to 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. Come on, guys. I know we can do it.
I know we can do it, guys. So just smash that subscribe button. Just only smash it once.
Yeah.
If you like it, please like this video. Hit the hype. There's a hype button on your phone. You can hype us.
And blah, blah, blah.
And help us
if you
out.
like this podcast, tell a friend.
If you hate this podcast, tell 2 enemies.